Now, something ancient is racing through our skies. It's older than the sun, and it's stranger than any comet, and it's rewriting what we thought we knew about the cosmos.
I swear, I've never seen anything like this. An object 100 times bigger than 3I/ATLAS caught near the sun. Recent solar images just revealed something extraordinary. An enormous disk near the sun, sparking wild theories, scientific debates, and cosmic curiosity everywhere. And here's where it all begins. SOHO, the Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, a joint NASA and ESA mission, launched way back in 1995. It wasn't meant to hunt UFOs or alien megastructures. Its job was simple: watch the sun, track solar flares, measure coronal mass ejections, and study space weather, the kind that can fry satellites and black out half the planet's power grid. SOHO sits in a perfect spot, Lagrange Point L1, a million miles from Earth, locked in a stable orbit where it can continuously stare at the sun. Over the decades, it's sent back millions of images, helping us understand how the sun breathes, burns, and bursts. But here's the twist. Among all that data, every once in a while, something shows up that doesn't belong. Shapes, shadows, flashes, things that don't fit any known pattern, and one of them was massive.
At first, it looked like a comet of fuzzy coma, a faint tail, dust drifting off into space.
This part blew everyone's mind. A few months ago, one of SOHO's cameras, LASCO C3, picked up a frame that left even veteran astronomers speechless. Right beside the raging inferno of the sun's corona was something impossible. A disc-shaped object with perfect symmetry and hovering just above the solar surface had the appearance of a calm, motionless, and glowing with the faintest of lights. In an environment where even metals would not resist and would vaporize instantly, this object was still and shining. The plasma surrounding it was erupting and shooting outwards in violent waves, but the disk was still standing and didn't budge an inch. When zoomed in, the object was not mistaken for lens flare or cosmic ray hit, as it was clearly defined with edges, structure, and also smooth geometry that screamed design. Its outline could be seen cutting sharply against the light of the sun, like something blocking the rays instead of bending with them. The scientists attempted to offer various explanations: digital artifact, data glitch, compression error, but the argument fell apart the moment one realized it was captured in several frames, minutes apart. This indicates it wasn't a camera bug, it was really there. And if you're wondering how big it was, try wrapping your head around this. It's estimated to be 100 times larger than 3I/ATLAS, one of the biggest interstellar objects ever detected. Think about that. Something of that scale near the sun, holding position in that kind of heat and gravity. That's not natural. Since then, the image has exploded across the internet. UFO analysts, astronomers, and skeptics are all fighting to decode it. But even now, no one can fully explain how an object that size could survive near the sun, let alone stay still. And that's where the mystery starts to burn brighter than the star itself. And here's where it gets even stranger: the theories. Some researchers believe the object wasn't supposed to be seen at all. According to this idea, the only reason we caught a glimpse of it was because a massive solar flare disrupted its cloaking system. Imagine that for a second. A hidden object orbiting close to the sun, suddenly exposed by a burst of solar energy. It sounds like something out of science fiction, but it's exactly what many in the UFO research community are suggesting. Others take it a step further. They believe the object intentionally positioned itself near the sun, not to hide, but to study it, or even extract energy. Think about it. The sun is the ultimate power source. If you had technology advanced enough to survive its radiation, why wouldn't you tap into it? Theories suggest the disk could be gathering solar plasma, harnessing magnetic fields, or studying solar behavior up close, things humanity can barely dream of. That's where this gets fascinating. If it wasn't a glitch, and if it wasn't accidental, then this could be an example of what scientists call stellar engineering, manipulating stars for energy or research. Maybe this disk isn't a ship. Maybe it's a collector, a probe, or part of a system far beyond our comprehension. And that leads to one of the wildest possibilities in modern astrophysics, the Dyson sphere concept. So what is a Dyson sphere? Back in the 1960s, physicist Freeman Dyson proposed a mind-blowing idea that an advanced civilization could surround its star with giant structures to capture all its energy. Not necessarily a full sphere, but maybe satellites, mirrors, or panels orbiting the star, all collecting power. Now picture that idea playing out near our sun. Could SOHO be part of such a system? A solar collector, probe, or maintenance drone near the star? Many believe it's possible. The sun emits 3.8 times 10 to the 26th watts of energy every second, enough to fuel a civilization millions of times more advanced than ours. If an extraterrestrial race were out there, this would be the perfect place to harvest power. NASA's SOHO and SDO satellites have recorded several oddly shaped anomalies, spheres, cubes, even cylindrical crafts that seem to move intelligently or remain perfectly still despite the sun's violent storms. That's the part that scientists can't easily explain. Nothing natural can hold steady in that kind of turbulence. If these objects truly are technological, they might be fragments of a Dyson network, a sign that advanced civilizations are already out there, quietly drawing power from the stars. It's speculative, yes, but not impossible. And the moment you realize that, the whole universe suddenly feels a lot more alive. Now, before diving too deep into the rabbit hole, let's see what NASA actually says. The official explanation is simple. These are imaging artifacts, pixel errors, cosmic rays striking the camera sensors, or reflections caused by internal light scattering. And truth be told, many so-called UFOs near the sun do fit those descriptions perfectly. But this one, the massive disk, doesn't sit so easily in that box. It's symmetrical, well-defined, and shows consistency across multiple frames. If it were just a glitch, it should have flickered or vanished instantly. Instead, it appeared stable for several minutes, even as the surrounding solar plasma shifted and flared. That kind of persistence doesn't align with pixel errors, nor does its repeated appearance across different instruments and times. So while NASA's explanation covers the basics, there's still a gap, a space between what's officially stated and what's visibly seen. And that's what keeps the mystery alive. Every time the sun erupts, cameras catch something that science can't quite box up. A reminder that maybe, just maybe, we're not the only ones watching the sun. Here's where the big question hits. What on Earth or beyond is it doing there? Some believe the object's purpose might be purely observational, like a deep space research station gathering solar data. Think about it. The sun controls so much of our solar system, from radiation bursts to magnetic storms. Monitoring it up close would give any advanced intelligence an edge in understanding, maybe even controlling, cosmic energy flow. Others think it's doing something more active, absorbing energy. The sun releases unimaginable power, and if you had technology that could survive its intensity, it'd be the ultimate battery. Some even speculate the object could be drawing plasma directly from the solar surface, converting it into usable energy, or storing it for interstellar travel. There's also the hiding theory, that the sun itself is being used as camouflage. Its blinding radiation and chaotic activity make it the perfect place to conceal a massive craft or structure. If true, we're not just dealing with technology, we're witnessing a strategy. And that's a chilling thought, that something intelligent could be operating right next to our star, unseen, undetected. Until now. Just when things couldn't get stranger, Mexico City added fuel to the fire. In 2023, a local skywatcher captured what became one of the most talked about UFO videos of the decade, the so-called jellyfish UFO. Broad daylight, clear skies, hundreds of witnesses, and a glowing translucent object floating above the city. It wasn't a blurry dot or a distant shape, it was clear. The footage showed a disc-like core surrounded by light tendrils that moved like living tissue, pulsing and shifting in rhythm. It looked eerily organic, as if it were half machine, half life form. People in the street stopped to film, drivers pulled over, social media exploded within hours. Yet here's the twist, no official statement ever came. No news coverage, no explanation from the Mexican Air Force or meteorological departments. Total silence. That vacuum of response only made things wilder. UFO researchers compared the footage to the solar object captured by SOHO and noticed uncanny similarities: a circular core, radiant glow, and faint plasma-like extensions. Could this be connected? Could the Mexico sighting be a smaller version or manifestation of the same technology spotted near the sun? The pattern was too strange to ignore. Whatever was seen over Mexico might not have been random at all, but part of something much larger, stretching from our atmosphere to the heart of the solar system. And then it turns out, Mexico wasn't alone. These so-called jellyfish UFOs have been appearing for decades across continents. Back in the 1980s, residents of Siberia reported glowing domes floating silently above the frozen landscape, trailing long, translucent lights like tentacles. Witnesses said they moved gracefully, almost like deep-sea creatures gliding through water, before fading into the clouds. Fast forward to 2018 in China. Multiple pilots flying over Inner Mongolia recorded a massive, pulsating jellyfish-shaped light in the sky. It hovered for several minutes, then shot upward, vanishing without a sound. The footage circulated briefly online before being scrubbed from major platforms, fueling suspicion. Then there's North America. From 2011 to 2019, sightings across Arizona, Texas, and even Canada describe the same pattern: glowing dome, silent motion, smooth fluid movements. People describe them as alive, not mechanical. The lights pulsed softly, changing color like bioluminescent creatures deep in the ocean. Weather balloons? Too stable. Drones? Not at that scale. Atmospheric plasma? Maybe. But that doesn't explain synchronized movement and repeated appearances. The consistent pattern across time and geography suggests something more structured, more intelligent, or at least more complex than we understand. These jellyfish-like forms aren't just atmospheric quirks. They might be fragments or manifestations of the same solar mystery, first caught by SOHO, living or engineered, connected to the sun in ways we're only beginning to imagine. Here's where things take a wild turn. What if this isn't just technology? Some researchers now believe these so-called jellyfish UFOs and the massive solar disk could be hybrid entities, part biological, part machine. Think about it. Their movement isn't stiff or mechanical. It's fluid, organic, almost like a living creature responding to its environment. This theory suggests they might be energy-based life forms, entities that evolved to exist in extreme conditions, feeding on electromagnetic energy instead of oxygen or carbon. Others propose they're bioengineered probes, created by an advanced civilization that blends life and machinery into one seamless system. Their jellyfish-like shape may be no coincidence. Nature often finds efficient designs, and if an alien intelligence was borrowed from biology, it would make sense. Tentacle-like filaments could serve as sensors or energy collectors. If true, this flips everything we know about UFOs. They might not be spacecraft piloted by anyone. They might be the life forms themselves. Intelligent, energy-adapted, and self-sustaining. Life as we've never defined it before. And that's what makes this possibility so fascinating and so unsettling. The silence, which is even more suspicious, is really a mystery. Off the record, there are no official agencies talking about the debate at all, and they've got good reasons to remain in the dark. They have not done any press briefings, have not made any scientific statements, but they have done some quiet dismissals. What could the reason be? There are those who think it's the case they are just utterly confused about what is going on. Others, however, view it as a deliberate move, an effort aimed at hiding the truth and controlling the narrative till the truth can be revealed without causing too much commotion. The past has backed up that theory. The U.S. Department of Defense's declassified UFO reports unambiguously acknowledge that there are many aerial phenomena that remain unexplained. Thus, the question remains, are official classified files the only place this case is being quietly buried? Or is it that even the governments cannot fully comprehend what they are witnessing? Adding to the intrigue, several military whistleblowers and former pilots have stepped forward in recent years, describing encounters with objects that defy the known laws of physics. These crafts reportedly accelerate instantly, maneuver without sound, and shift directions with no visible propulsion. Whether it's a solar engineering marvel, a living plasma organism, or something beyond imagination, one truth stands unshaken. The universe still guards secrets far deeper than we can grasp. And maybe, just maybe, our growing technology isn't revealing new mysteries. It's finally exposing what's been watching us all along.